Welcome to Morelia. Bienvenidos a Morelia. I'm so excited to show you guys this city. My wife is Mexican, obviously a part of my heart always lives in this country, and I think one of the biggest mistakes that tourists make is they go straight to the beaches and the coasts. And sure, if you want sun and sand, Mexico's a perfect place to come to get it. However, if you go straight to Cancun, you'll see that it's pretty whitewashed. A lot of the signage is in English, everything is extremely touristy. But if you come to central Mexico, Morelia is the capital of Michoacan. It's very, very central in the country, and it's such a beautiful place. It's a city with a greater area of less than 2 million people. So it's a city of a good size with a lot going on. The city's very alive, but at the same time, it's not massive like Mexico City. There's some really important cultural icons. So in this video, I just want to take you around Morelia, show you some of the important things, talk a little bit about the history, and just introduce you to what I think most tourists are missing out on when they come to Mexico. When the Spanish arrived, they called this city Valladolid, and it was kind of built to be the Spanish administrative center of the Spanish Empire in Mexico. Because of that, the town center is huge and gorgeous. So all of that said, let's go check out some of these landmarks. One of the most important icons and landmarks of Morelia is the aqueduct, which is beautiful. It was built in the late 1700s by the Franciscan monks. You can see it's made of this pink stone called cantera. It's iconic of this area because it was like big pieces of the bedrock, and so a lot of Morelia, the historical center of Morelia, is built with this beautiful pink stone cantera. Of course, it was functional for a long time. Built by the Franciscan monks, the whole idea was to bring in clean water for use in the city. The aqueduct goes several kilometers up into the hills. It ends at the Loma de Santa Maria, the hill of St. Mary, which is now actually a full different town. But back in the day, it would have been like part of a big natural area, bringing in clean spring water to the city. It's a really, really beautiful icon, and if you get the chance to drive around Morelia or to take the combis, there's a good chance you'll get to see a big span of the long kilometers that is covered by the aqueduct here in Morelia. Of course, there are lots of other really beautiful iconic landmarks, so let's go check out another one. Another fascinating and awesome landmark of the city of Morelia is La Fuente de las Tarascas. Right behind me, the Fountain of the Tarascas. So these are 3 native princesses of the Tarasca nation. The Tarasca nation is also the Purepecha nation. It was in different time periods. They are known by these 2 different names. Purepecha is what they call the language today. And so this nation lives on. The language is still alive. Of course, today it's small. At their height, they were over 1 million people. And you can see these princesses are carrying a bounty of fruits because it was a thing the Purepecha were known for, is this great wealth. They're one of the few tribes in the area that were never conquered by the Aztecs and also not conquered by the Spanish. In fact, to my knowledge, I think there are only 2 tribes that were not conquered by the Spanish. The Tarahumara, that are famous for winning ultramarathons today, and they ran from the Spanish Empire because they were pacifists. But the Purepecha were warriors, and they also were never conquered by the Spanish. Even in the time during the Aztecs, they were famous for working in copper and bronze, things that the Aztecs were not able to do. And having those abilities was part of how they were able to fight off the Aztecs. The Tarascas are just one beautiful monument in a city full of beautiful spaces. Next, let's head to the Calzada de Romance, or the Romantic Road. Being that Morelia, which at the time was Valladolid, was built to be the Spanish administrative center of the colonies over here, it's covered with these really beautiful spaces. This walk, or paseo, is called the Calzada de San Diego, and it's because it arrives behind me over to the Church of San Diego. But you can see it's this beautiful walkway built of that same pink cantera stone. All the buildings around here, and actually for several kilometers in every direction, are built of this same kind of construction. It's this really old, massive, protected area. In fact, I think it's somewhere around 4 square kilometers are a UNESCO site right here in the center of Morelia. Truly an incredible place. Of course, being the Spanish Empire, one of the centers of everything is the cathedral. So let's head that direction next. Here we are on the Plaza just outside of the cathedral, and you can see behind me, it's a beautiful, beautiful cathedral. In fact, the entire cathedral is made out of that pink cantera stone. It's really incredibly gorgeous. Next week, I'll be going to some churches and we'll go inside. This week, I just want to show you around the area outside of the cathedral. You can see it, this entire plaza, it's fairly massive. It's awesome. So, so pretty. Everything around is built with that exact same pink cantera stone. In some places you can see different periods of construction. I love that when you see like the stones change as you climb up the stories of a building. This gazebo right in the middle of the plaza is incredibly beautiful. There are lots of events here, and so oftentimes you see like dances or spectacles, whatever, things going on inside of the gazebo. It's a really, really pretty place to hang out. It feels like a throwback that I haven't seen in a lot of places. I love that there's these little stations you can get your shoes shined before you head into the cathedral. Here you can see the beautiful, beautiful facade of the cathedral. More next week when we head into the churches. And the cathedral is just as beautiful at night, and if you're lucky, sometimes there's fireworks. For great views of the cathedral, there's a spot just across the street called Los Portales, with lots of cafes and places to sit and have a coffee with a beautiful view. As a total side note, all over Mexico, one of my favorite things is seeing these old Beetles and sometimes Volkswagen vans. Here they call them bochos and combis, and they are all over. They're not all pretty, but they are all fun. Another thing Morelia is famous for is its relationship with two of the most important independence fighters. The first one, Jose Maria Morelos, is what Morelia is named after, so the Spanish called it Valladolid. Later on, when the Mexicans won independence, it became Morelia in honor of Jose Maria Morelos. Another independence fighter, Miguel Hidalgo, went to college here at the beautiful Colegio de San Nicolas, which is where we are right now. It's an incredibly gorgeous place and well worth a trip. But the thing I wanted to impress on you before we go look at these beautiful murals here at the college is the importance of Miguel Hidalgo. There's a famous piece of history that started the war for independence here in Mexico called El Grito. Miguel Hidalgo literally walked out of the doors of the church and screamed, and that's what began the fight for independence. And so right here when you visit Morelia, it's a really interesting place to come and just see little pieces of history. Let's go check out those beautiful murals. It's super cool that here in Mexico there's so much respect for indigenous life, and these murals are dedicated to it. And so you just see a lot of the ways that people lived. Things from fishing to agriculture. It's really beautiful. This stairway is so rad with this incredible stonework. It feels super unique. I can't think of another place I've seen anything like it. And just a few blocks away, we hit the Mercado de Dulces y Artesanías. It's the market of sweets and artisanal crafts. It's an awesome place to go shopping for handcrafts, leatherwork. It's the best place to buy Mexican candy because really they just have the best selection that I've seen. And to be honest, Mexican candy is the best in the world. Compared to other candies, it's often relatively healthy. Ates are like fruit pastes, and sometimes you can find ates with no added sugar. A lot of the other candy is based on nuts and fruits and coconut. Some of my favorites are right here. Obleas con cajeta. Checolines are definitely not healthy for you, but they are delicious. And then they have fruits with chili. So it'll be like dried mangoes or dried pineapple covered in chili flakes. Super delicious. And right in the middle of the Mercado de Dulces y Artesanías, there's this really pretty little plaza with trees growing. Like if your family's shopping, it's a great spot to just sit and read or chat. Another thing that Morelia is known for is being a center for culture, the arts, and schools. And so like I'd said before, it's covered with these beautiful, beautiful little plazas. Right here we're at the Plaza de las Rosas, the Plaza of the Roses. And it's just a gorgeous little place to hang out. There's a bunch of cafes and bars, great place to sit and have a little coffee. Over here behind me, this is one of the oldest convents here in the Americas. Obviously established by the Spanish way back when. Now it's a conservatory of music. And on the note of music, in the cathedral, they have one of the biggest cathedral organs in the Americas. It's truly a gorgeous sight to see. And so next week, I'll be heading to a few of the churches around Morelia. And of course, we'll start in the cathedral. If I've done it already, then the video will be right here linked on screen. Some of these churches are so unique, and that organ is incredible. It's something you don't want to miss, so check it out.